For nearly 2 years now, Palestinian activists all over the world have been trying to educate Americans and Europeans about our complicity in funding the Israeli genocide in Gaza. They have been begging daily for global recognition of the atrocities that are being committed against their people on a day-to-day basis. But all of their pleas have fallen on deaf ears to our global leaders. We've seen doctors hold press conferences surrounded by dozens of dead and wounded bodies, trying to just gain attention, just mere attention, for the atrocities that are being committed, and to force action towards resolution of this bloodshed. But all of that invokes no response whatsoever from our leaders. Millions of us all over the world have seen with our own eyes carnage that can only be seen normally in the movies. And even the movies seem tame, considering that I cannot freely describe some of the most horrific scenes that I and millions of others have seen during this massacre. Thousands of families have been annihilated at the hands of Israel. The number of mass graves in Palestinian neighborhoods across Gaza outnumbers the number of apples in the supermarket. So you who do not listen to your voters, I speak to you directly. We call for a ceasefire, we get no ceasefire. We call for an end to the occupation and an end to the illegal siege on Gaza, we get called terrorists. If we amplify the most basic calls for respect for international law, we get called anti-Semitic. Daily, we have witnessed flagrant war crimes at the hands of Israel, and the International Criminal Court is apparently too helpless to bring charges against every single perpetrator involved. Because of this weakness and nihilism, you have forced our hand to bring indictments against all the world leaders who are involved in this grave massacre of innocent life. And it is in fact our human right and our responsibility to bring citizens' indictments whenever we see fit. Therefore, I hereby issue a citizen's indictment of Benjamin Netanyahu, Prime Minister of Israel, Isaac Herzog, President of Israel, Minister of National Security Ben-Gvir, and Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, U.S. Presidents Joseph R. Biden and Donald J. Trump, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Marco Rubio, U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin and Pete Hegseth, Assistant Secretary of Defense John Kirby, you heartless son of a bitch, Prime Minister of the United Kingdom Rishi Sunak and Keir Starmer, and of course, last but not least, President of the European Commission Ursula von der Leyen. You are hereby indicted